Welcome to the Heron Heads podcast. My name is Julio, and I'm joined today by some friends and fellow Inter Miami fans, Dave, Chris, and Jose. And on behalf of the guys, we want to thank you for joining us for episode 42 here on the Heron Heads podcast, your first stop for all things Inter Miami. For those of you watching live on YouTube, thanks so much for stopping by, and make sure you hit the like and subscribe buttons if you're enjoying the show. A huge shout out to our chief Heron Head, Matias. Thank you so much for your generous support. Additionally, thank you to our other Patreon supporters, Art, Brian, Kevin, James, and Karen. Thank you so much for your continued support. And if you feel so inclined to support us on Patreon, you will find a link in the description wherever you are listening. And if you don't feel so inclined, that's totally okay too. We appreciate you being here. All right, guys. So another Inter Miami match, another scoreless result. How's everybody feeling?
I'm not talking. Is anyone pressing the panic button yet? Just to get a vibe? No? I mean, yeah. It's all right. It's another preseason game. Nothing to panic about. You know, we saw a little bit more gelling. No, we saw last game again. You know, we see that connection between the Barca boys. Messi's passing today, I thought, was outstanding. He was finding different players all over the pitch. Another bright spot that I thought was really nice is David Ruiz played really, really well at the center mid position where Tata started him today. So it was a nice little change up in the formation or in the starting lineup. Kramaski was out, Ruiz was in, and I thought Suarez saw a couple of nice opportunities. He did still seem a little slow, probably just still getting up to pace, but still it was okay. You know, we lost. Doesn't really matter. Again, preseason. We just want to see the team progress. We want to see the team get a little better, that communication between all the players a little better, and I think we're seeing that. And we're seeing what other players could bring to other positions. You know, we saw Noah Allen again as center back. We saw Gresso as center mid. Yedlin kick back out to right back. So we saw a couple of different things, and I think we'll just continue to see that as the preseason goes on. Tata just wants to see what really works, what doesn't work, and that's what it's all about. You know, no one can panic. If you panic, just relax. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I don't think we should panic for the lack of scoring. The opportunities will come. This team is like you said, they're trying to gel. They're trying to feel each other out, gain that chemistry. That's the main thing that we're trying to get in these preseason matches and friendlies, is just build that chemistry. I'm not panicking, but one area of concern, like we've always said, is that defensive backfield. Very, very quickly, we gave up a goal in this one, and it was the two main culprits. It was a bad turnover, and then it was Noah Allen getting bodied and Christoph just being slow to help. So that's something that they're going to have to identify moving forward. Toto Aviles was playing right center back, and of course he was not able to help in that situation. So I think going forward they'd have to have the more athletic center back in the middle if they're going to go three back, and that's something that they're going to have to be careful with. It looks like they really are trying to get Noah Allen some major minutes as a major contributor. I know they're going to add another center back, but I'm not sure if Christoph is going to be one of the main three center backs. He might be a rotational piece, and it looks like they're going to try to utilize Noah Allen's athleticism in that center back position. But like I said, like I said in the last episode, he's one of the smaller center backs out there. So like today, we saw he can get bodied by some more powerful strikers, and he's going to need some help from a central defender, and Christoph can't get there fast enough. So if we can get Toto as the main center back, that might be something to look forward to. But not panicking, because I know we have some pieces coming to help shore up that defensive side, but I'm not so much worried about the offensive struggles at this point. But defense, we got to keep an eye on them.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not anywhere near that where we're worried about panicking at all. But I would say there's good and there's bad, you know. And the good, I would feel like we had a lot of, you know, we were looking way better as a team, as a unit. were getting more comfortable. I feel like the guys that were not comfortable were the newest guys, to be honest. And it seemed like the guys that had been there already since last year, they're progressing way faster than the newer guys. Suarez, I think once they start getting a few more games under each other's belts with each other, they're gonna be crazy to watch. It's gonna be so fun. Like we saw glimpses in the last game. We saw glimpses again today of just magic, just watching it all just happen together as a unit. And that's what I look forward to. That's the stuff that's gonna separate us from the big dogs in the MLS. I like something that they were trying. It seemed like they would put Boosie to kind of be like quarterback and just tell Jordy on one side, Suarez up the middle, or Messi on the other side. They're like, just go and I'll flick it over to you. They were doing that pretty well, and it seems like they knew it was coming and they still were able to complete it every single time. That was fun. Yeah, so those are two guys that I was most impressed with. The connection Boosie and Jordy are making is fun on the left wing side. It's a lot of fun. Christoph is the bad. I think that he was one of the guys that we were hoping would step up when we gave up Kamal Miller. And he's taking a step back and back. I don't know what's happening there. I almost feel like Sailor did a way better job as being way better in the sense of, let's say, we give him one, and we give him Sailor a 2. It's not that much better, but it's better. I'm starting to pick at Yedlin. I don't know. He's just giving me Ashida now. I don't know. He's driving me nuts. I don't know why.
He's been driving you nuts since the game against Houston, though, to be fair. I mean, there seemed to be more cohesion between the players today. I loved the midfield that Tata sent out today. I thought they performed really well. They provided like a really good balance of defense and offense and just holding play. Other than the first up till Dallas scored the goal, the next 20 minutes, Miami held the ball most of the time. We dominated the game. We were just unlucky to finish any of our chances. It was a problem last match where we just didn't have the final pass, the final shot, the final touch to free up some space. But that's going to come. I'm not concerned with the offense at all. You can see if you guys have ever watched HGTV or any of these house shows, they say that the house has good bones. The good bones are here in the team. They just need to fix or upper the front, and it's going to fall into place, and we're going to start scoring goals. And once they see the ball hit the back of the net, then that monkey's going to be off their back. Suarez is pushing. He was visibly very frustrated when he was coming off the field. He wants to score, obviously. That's what he's done his whole career, and he's like, hello, how have I not scored already? And you can see the interplay between these players is just so silky smooth, and it's just the very last touch is just slightly off still. It's not quite calibrated and dialed in, but once it hits, it's going to feel so good, and the goals are going to come. I mean, they're going to score eventually, even if it's a double doink and it bounces in off the goalkeeper's back of his head. It's going to happen somehow. So it's just a matter of time. It's preseason. It's game 2 of preseason. These guys have been on vacation for a couple months, and it's fine. It's fine. The only difference now is that we're all actually paying attention, and we're coming from a season where we were just at the very peak of excitement, and preseason is the time to work out these kinks. So once we get through getting over these kinks, it's going to be a lot of fun.
Julio, let me ask you a question. Did you the reason why you brought up the house flippers, were you watching Dallas film and then you were like, and then all of a sudden YouTube took you to Chip and Joanna games? Is that what happened there?
I'm always on Chip and Joanna games.
That's what I thought. Yeah. It was, I mean, I think they're from Texas. They have a little town there.
They are. I was going to say they are from Texas.
Waco.
Waco.
Not that far.
You guys know way too much.
Yeah, you know way too little.
True. Shit black. Look what I was about that. No, but I agree, Julio. It's just one of those things where the offense is going to come. These guys are just built for it. I'm surprised Jordy played so long. I thought that was a little bit of a little gamble there. I'm so worried about any of these older guys just getting one little I think we saw Luis Suarez at one point get a little hurt, and Chris said on the text, like, "Oh my God, is he hurt?" I was like, "I'm not gonna even look at it, and I'm not even gonna pay attention to that. He's fine." Because it's like, man, like we don't need that, you know. So I wish they would like kind of chill with the preseason minutes, and they're gonna get the minutes. They're gonna be fine together. I think our biggest issues is stuff we don't know. Yes, I have been picking on Yedlin for a long time, ever since I saw him get the doors blown off him in Houston. But at the same time, do you guys think that's a hole? I think that, along with the center back, the middle center back area, there I do think it's a little bit of a hole, mostly because we have such a bad center back. You know what I mean? So there's no help.
I don't think that's as big a hole as you might think it is. I definitely the center back. We need a true defender in the middle of the field. Yedlin does. I mean, he doesn't have the speed that he used to have, but he does have quality speed at that position, and he uses his speed fine. He's not an A+ defender. He'll never be an A+ defender, but he's good enough to provide help, especially with that athleticism. He'll be fine. That's not something that I'm too worried about. I don't think we're gonna find too vast an upgrade in the market or anywhere in the trade. We're not gonna be able to really upgrade that position as much as that center back spot. So that's why I'm not overly worried about that. Definitely need to figure out center back, I think that they think that they have enough at the wing position. I think they're going to rotate throughout the year, Robert Taylor and David Ruiz, and that'll be what's going to happen there. But yeah, I think that we're okay at the right back's position.
I will say, Chris, as far as like Jordy playing the whole match, do you think that that's maybe it shows the lack of depth that we have there? Because if Noah Allen's playing left center back, who's supposed to spell Jordi Alba?
I missed something during the broadcast. Sorry, it's just I was driving because the game's at 6:00 Eastern time, so it's a tough time for me. I have to pick up my son at that point. So I had the phone on with the game, and it kind of cut out. And they said that there was a rumor about a Puma wingback that would be able to provide depth for Jordi Alba. I didn't catch the name. Did anybody catch that in the broadcast, or was it just me? Or maybe somebody in the comments will be able to shed some light on what player that was. The broadcast cut out for me just when they said the name, and then they did say it's a rumor. He's from Puma, and I know that we talked about somebody from Puma, but it wasn't a wingback. So it could be that the announcer doesn't know what he's talking about. But I would love to see if there's something out there.
The guy from Puma is Palavecino,
right? And he's an attacking middle
originally.
No, that's
what I'm saying. That's maybe that's what you heard.
Oh no, he's a center back.
Okay. Palavecino is from River Plate.
Okay.
Oh wait, no. Then who was the Puma guy?
The Freire guy that's coming.
Oh yeah.
Center back.
Sorry. Yeah, that's true.
So maybe he's the one who they think can provide depth on the wing. What are we pointing at?
Jose's muted and he keeps trying to
talk and he's muted.
I said maybe happy birthday, Ian Frey. That could be. Who knows?
Oh boy.
The thing is that I'm pretty sure like we've gained a lot of subscribers since that day. So it's one of those things that we can say it and we're laughing, but then everyone else is like watching it like I don't know what he's talking about. One day David decided to just say happy birthday to Ian Frey. It wasn't even his birthday. It was really awkward. Actually, I think we had a commenter actually say later on, hey, it's not his birthday. It's very awkward. I think you retweeted it and everything.
Jose's just making things up at this point.
What do you mean? That's what happened.
It's gone completely off the rails.
That's exactly what happened.
You should mute yourself again.
This guy's delirious.
Okay. That's what happened.
Back to our team, though.
That's literally what happened.
I was gonna piggyback off of what Julio was saying. He said he liked the center mids. I really did like it too. I think Gresso in the middle was very nice in a center mid, because he does have a defensive factor, right? He plays really defense very well, and obviously he attacks very well. So I think that's what we really needed. We saw the middle really gain control of possession. at some point. And it really showed as like the strongest unit out there today, honestly. Maybe that's why I thought I wanted to try him up there as well. Since Yedlin, like we said, he's not the best defender, but he's serviceable. And then obviously Toto was at the right center back, so maybe helping him out a little bit here and there. So yeah, I think the center mids were really nice today. And like I mentioned when we first started, David Ruiz I thought was pretty nice. He made some really nice passes. I think he had a shot on goal, if I'm not mistaken, or close to it. So it was really impressive to see what we kind of saw towards the end of last season. We saw some flashes from him, and Tata kind of stopped starting him. I don't know why. Tata was very odd at the end of the year last year, or at the end of the season. But it was nice to see David Ruiz kind of just start right back where he was at. So a couple of nice pieces that we saw play today, and we'll see what happens next time. But Kramaski may be better. Start looking over his shoulder for David Ruiz.
Let me ask you a question. What do you think is more, Chris's adoration and love for David Ruiz, or my hatred towards Robert Taylor? Every time we talk about David Ruiz in the show, bro, Chris is like, wow, it's amazing. I like him.
I'm wrong. He played very well today, I thought.
He did. He played good, but it's just like, okay, let's see what happens. He hasn't scored a goal since 30 matches ago. Let's see what happens. Let's pump the brakes. No,
he's not that type of player, though.
I need him to be that type of player. I don't know what to tell you.
Well, right now we need anyone to step up.
We need anyone to score at this point.
What I do like about what Chris said with Gressel and Yedlin, to me, it makes like a really interesting rotational move. Like as far as the chess match goes, like if Yedlin's overlapping on the wing, Gressel can sort of drop back and cover when needed. And I feel like that dynamic can work really well for us. And the interplay that Gressel provided between Busquets and Toto and Yedlin on that right side, I think is super dynamic. And that helped a lot in how we were able to control the play. I thought that was just a really strong wrinkle by Tata. Right now he's still sort of tinkering and figuring out who deserves more playing time, what combinations of players work well together. Gressel in the midfield is very interesting to me. And I think Tata understands that although we can say whatever we want about Yedlin and how he's sort of starting to fall off a little bit, but at the end of the day, he is a serviceable right back, but Gressel is also a very serviceable player in multiple positions, and being able to get them both on the field at the same time will only benefit us. And you saw it, like Gressel really controlled. And something I didn't really know about Gressel, but they kept bringing it up on the broadcast, was that he's a very good set piece taker. So it creates like a really interesting dynamic when there's a short range free kick that needs to be taken, and Messi, obviously you assume, is going to be the one to take it and create like a super dangerous opportunity, just like the corner kick that he almost scored off of. But Gressel might be able to add in some different angles to those set piece plays that I think could be really interesting to explore as the season progresses. But I was unfamiliar with his game in that sense.
Yeah, they kept saying it, and they even said any other MLS team, Gressel would be taking these set pieces, not being on the side or whatever, But here we have Messi, obviously. So what are you gonna do, right? Yeah, so that was actually interesting to hear. They said it all night. They said it like 100 times.
I don't see Tata having the balls to say, "Hey, Messi, let's put Gressel in there."
Nothing to do with Tata. That's Messi. Messi conceded penalty kicks to Joseph Martinez last year. Messi's smart. Like he's gonna know. He's gonna be like, "Hey, let me like step over the ball, and then you come and hit it to the right side, and then they'll ping it back, and we'll do some tiki taka, and I'll be wide open in the box." That's Messi. That's not Tata at all, I don't think. They can practice these things in training, and that's on Tata, obviously. But at the end of the day, like in practice, like when it's happening, Messi will take the reins on that.
Hey, so an interesting name was brought up in the comments is Gomez. Gomez, we haven't seen him yet. He's still on international play. What do you guys think of him being in the midfield? To me, from what we saw last year, and I could be very wrong, he seemed like he played a lot more defense. He was more like that enforcer in the middle, more so than an attacker or being involved in the attack at all. So a lot of people here are saying Gomez over Ruiz, but I don't know. What do you guys think? I kind of see Ruiz as a little bit of an upgrade over Gomez.
I think they're different style players. Ruiz, I know they played him at defensive back at wing back that one game, but I do think he has a little more development in the attack. While Gomez looks like a box to box midfielder, like a true box to box. I think that Gomez in the midfield has a lot to learn from a player like Gregory. I think he can really watch Gregory play and learn from him. They didn't really have a lot of intersection in the season last year, so I would love to see them kind of gleam off each other and kind of provide that mentorship to him. But yeah, Gomez is a well respected player, and they said that he's one of the best up and coming young talents in the MLS. So yeah, I kind of defer to a lot of these scouts that say that Gomez is probably the superior talent at this point. Not to say that Ruiz won't get there, but I think Ruiz doesn't have the full spectrum that Gomez has right now. I think Gomez has a little more versatility to him. The only thing is this: we have a glut of midfielders, so it's going to be very difficult to get all these guys on the pitch, unless we're blowing people out of the water, and then we can make these subs to get them involved. But it's the one spot that we have really an abundance of players. So that's why it's kind of surprising that we went ahead and traded one of our few center backs when we have so many midfielders that would make more sense to deal for pieces or for space.
Yeah, Gomez is interesting to me because really he was very hot and cold when he first joined the team. And then he started getting like in a really good rhythm. And then he got hurt over one of the international breaks. So we didn't see like any of that continue because he was just out for most of the rest of the season. So I'm looking forward to seeing him in the preseason and seeing what he brings, because my sense is that he's a more developed player than Ruiz and has more senior level experience, even though he's only 1 year older than David Ruiz. My understanding, and based on what I've seen, is that he's a little bit more developed as a player, a little bit more complete. And David Ruiz brings like a youthful energy and drive that Diego Gomez just like can't control when he plays. The biggest thing with Gomez was that when he would get to the final third, he would just like, he would hold the shoot button for too long. Like he would hold the pass button for too long, and it would just go completely awry once he got to the very end. Up to that point, like box to box, he was very solid for most of the time. He would make a couple errant passes here and there, but overall, he just really needed to like keep his composure a little bit better, and everything else was pretty good. So both are young. It's great that we have this problem, if we want to call it that. And I'm excited to see Gomez come back, because we were like, he shouldn't see the field, and then it was like, oh, he's doing much better, and then he got hurt, and we're like, well, I guess it is what it is. So I'm excited to see what he brings to the team again, especially this iteration of the team with other players, because he can learn a lot from Gregory, who was out a lot of the time that Gomez was playing. He can learn from Gressel, who just joined the team. He can learn from Suarez, who will be in front of Gomez on the pitch. There's a lot of new pieces that can help him, and David Ruiz for that matter, develop over the course of the season.
Yeah, it could really help him pick his shots better when you have somebody like Suarez in front of you. When there's more shot creators around you, it kind of opens up the space a little bit theoretically for Gomez. So he probably, if he gets that itch to shoot, he won't feel bad about taking the shot, and he'll have a little more space to take it as well. Now, if he fudges them on a regular basis, then he's going to get more angry looks, because there will be better shot takers around him. So he's going to be like, don't mess up our chances. But I think it will open up the pitch for him, and hopefully we'll get just shots on target. That's all I'm asking for. Just put them on target.
Yeah,
make the goalkeeper work.
For me, with Ruiz, what I like about him compared for our team particularly is that he has a lot of he can do a lot of things, whereas I feel like Gomez is very stuck in the middle, right? Where I saw Ruiz, like last year we put him at wingback. Was he a great wingback? No, but he has that possibility of like flourishing. He's only 18 years old, 19 years old, right? Like we can literally mold him into whatever we want. You know what I'm saying? So I'm excited. I'm excited to see what he can get into. Probably right now, I think Gomez is probably the better overall player, but I think I almost want to say Ruiz has a better, like, just more upside for our team particularly for what we need.
Did you see the comment, Jose?
No. What is it?
It says front three should be Robert Taylor, Luis Suarez, and Messi. Jose, thoughts?
Okay. I'm not going to answer that. I love our followers too much. No, Robert Taylor shouldn't be on there. I can't help it. No, I mean, well, right now, Tata's not making us have that. We don't have to make that decision. Tata right now is doing only two men in the front, and we have so many midfielders that we don't need them. But God forbid, maybe he's going to put him at right wing back. Then you guys really get excited.
I do think having the formation that Tata has now suits our squad. Having two strikers, even though one of them is Messi, so he tends to like drop more to help progress the play. I do think it suits us to have that. It makes more sense to me to have the wing backs push up and become the de facto wings or wingers. I'm sorry. And I do think that it was too much to have both wingbacks and wingers at the same time. It didn't really suit the style of play that we have. And you can see, you can see the interplay right now with how they have it set up. Like you can see that the spacing is much different than it was last year. And it's also creating different angles. Like you mentioned Busquets. You had Busquets playing balls over the top, and you were having angles that were coming from the right and the left side behind the back line, whether it was Suarez running in behind. I think Alba got behind a couple times. These angles that are a lot different because there's not just one focal point at the top of the spear. There's two. So it becomes much more varied in attack. So I do actually like the 5-3-2 compared to some of the formations that we were taking up last season, where it was more based on wingers and wingbacks. I think I like this formation better.
The only thing that sucks about this, I agree, but the only thing that sucks about this formation is that what are we heaviest at? Like what position? Midfield, right? So with us having a lot of midfielders, we really only have two spots for them to fill it, right? Because we're not going to sit Boosie, right? So if we don't sit Boosie, that means we have two spots available for a bunch of young guys and a bunch of guys that we want to see play, and they're only going to get better by playing. But we also have some veterans that are better than them. So it's like, it's a good problem to have, like we said, but it's also like, I don't know, like how can we fix the team overall? You know what I'm saying? Like maybe since we have so much riches in one area, that's what I kind of was hoping I'd see this summer, but whatever.
Well, there are a lot of matches to be played. So that's one thing that Boosie can't play every single match. He shouldn't be playing every single match. If we're going to have him be healthy and available for the whole stretch of the season, he's going to take games off. So having all these midfielders, it is a benefit in that regard.
And last year, that guy played more minutes than anyone else. It was incredible.
Well, last year we were decimated with injuries.
Yeah, we can't have that with him. It's not good long term.
Yeah, I agree with what Dave said. The ability to rotate, it's a good thing to have, and to be able to have the flexibility to put some of these places maybe outside of the midfield as well. Because in like Gressel, for example, you can put it right back. David Ruiz, we've seen played wing back. You have Kremaski, who's played both in the midfield and up top. You have Gomez, who probably more is a true midfielder, but likes getting up the pitch a little bit more. So maybe he moves slightly more advanced. But you have a lot of flexibility with the players that we have as midfielders that I think it does play into this formation, because there's not – you can obviously like use FIFA logic and say there's formations like the 4-4-2 or these different formations that by number give you a lot of midfielders, but in reality they're players that are more wide, or there's one more advanced and one sitting deeper, or there's multiple that are sitting back as a double pivot. So there's a lot of like permutations to it. But at the end of the day, having like a solid three in the midfield, like a block in the midfield, I think really suits us, and it suits the personnel that we have. Because when you think of who we have as midfielders, they're high engine players, and we have certain players that are solid defensively in the midfield and some that are solid offensively in the midfield. So you have Kremaski, who has more of a knack of getting forward. You have David Ruiz, who can get forward, but also has shown signs of a good defensive player. You have Gregory, who's a little bit of both. You have Gomez, who's a little bit of both. So I think we have a lot of flexibility in the midfield, and I do think that the 5-3-2 suits that.
Yeah. You know what else? You know what else is crazy? Have we even talked about the Olympico attempt that Messi had? The shot that he had from the corner.
I mentioned it, but you can walk us through it because that was one of the highlights.
That was beautiful. That was beautiful, like incredible. He shot it from the right side. It seemed to just curve it. Honestly, it looked like it was going to go in. If only he put just a tad bit. If he got a tad bit further, I think he would have gotten it because there was still room to get it. There's still room to go. But man, that thing curved so pretty.
The keeper made a great.
Yeah, he had to make a spectacular save, and it wasn't even like a perfect shot. You know what I mean? It was perfect in the sense of he got on target, but he literally had a lot more. Usually you try to hit in the back corner of the goal, but way closer than I've ever seen.
So seeing that, do you not sit him, but you put Gressel taking that set piece?
Never. No, I'm not gonna be the guy to tell him, hey, yeah, Papo. No, I'm not doing that.
I think for corners,
I think Julio would.
No, I think there's two things you have to consider. One, Messi's not really a threat in the box on corners,
right?
And you don't see like the fake outs from the corner of having two players like standing next to the ball. Whereas towards the top of the box, if you have two players standing there, you don't necessarily know which one's going to take it. So my point was that we can engage in some trickery and chicanery if we have them both standing over the ball in a short free kick situation.
Like having two guys standing there and doing the, sometimes people, they don't know who. Okay.
100%.
Yeah, that's fun.
100%.
Yeah.
So someone brought up Farias now too. I know it's really early. Injury just happened and all of that. But do you see us really missing him now that you see all of the pieces that we could really plug and play? We haven't even seen the most of it. We still have much more we haven't seen in the midfield. But do you guys think we're really gonna miss him? Obviously, we know what he brings to the table, the youth, the athleticism, the speed. But we are talking about all these pieces. So, what do you guys think now after that injury?
Yeah, I think for sure they're gonna miss him. Like if there's no other moves made, which I doubt I think there will be other moves made. Absolutely, they would miss him. He's the most polished of the young players that they had. So that's somebody that they had a big plans for. They brought him on to be an instant contributor, and I think that it's going to hurt now. Him being out for the season, I know that they were given, I think it was $550,000 to sign a replacement type player. So that's helpful because they are going to have to look into bringing somebody else on because nobody that they have on the roster right now fits that mold. I even mentioned it in the group chat when we were watching the game. I wonder now with Farias out if that brings a little hesitation to sell a player like Stefanelli, just because he kind of is the closest thing to that type of player, an older player at that, but he does have a little bit of the same skill set. But I think that they're going to look to bring somebody on, but now I think they will be hesitant to sell him until they find that piece to kind of replace Facu.
You're talking about Stefanelli? Ugh. I hope he's not the guy that we're gonna be. That's gonna be terrible. I think the guy.
You didn't listen to a word I said.
Oh, I thought I understood.
You just heard Stefanelli.
I don't know, but what I was wondering is maybe that guy that on loan. That's the guy that we may have to pursue a little more aggressively. The guy that was that I think we were trying to buy him initially, and then I guess we just don't have the money. Like we don't have the facilities, big man. But that who was the guy? I think he's from River Plate.
Palavecino.
Yeah, I think we may have to go after him a little bit stronger. But the thing is that, like before you David went on his rant, we had heard about Julio, what he was saying about the new formation, and I was actually trying to look when I didn't listen to anything David said. I was trying to look up the formation that we did for the first preseason game. I wasn't sure where we played Facu. Did we play him as one of the front strikers or the left center mid? I think left center mid was my guess.
Yeah, it was Messi and Suarez up top to start last match.
So is he someone that we consider to be a winger or more of a left center mid kind of thing?
He was like an attacking almost central forward. We played him in a number of positions last season. We played him at left wing.
Right.
We played him as a cam. We played him as a striker, and we
I
played him
liked
as a
him at left
midfielder.
wing. I personally liked him at left wing a lot. I feel like he had more space to roam. He was very, like David said, he's polished. He is someone that has a lot of skill. And I always felt like when we put him in the mid, we're kind of like putting him in very tight spaces.
I feel the opposite way. I felt like when we had him in the wing, I felt like he wasn't as useful and effective as when we had him centrally. When he was in the wing, he felt out of the play, and he was kind of forcing it whenever he had the ball. When he was in the middle, it just felt natural.
And he was kind of just stuck over there. I felt like when he was playing wing, when he was playing that central position, he was roaming, he was running up the gut. Like it was a different style of play that we saw, and I think it suited him better, honestly.
Yeah, we said it a number of times last season that he was best when he was able to receive the ball and then turn upfield, and that when he played on the wing, he wasn't always able to do that because he was more pushed forward and he had to stay forward. And that, to David's point, I think will be the reason why we miss him. Is a lot of the players that we have on this roster aren't able to as effectively take the ball and progress it up the field from the midfield forward. So he was able to like make a couple skill moves, make someone miss, get around a defender one-on-one. And that is something that we may lack a little bit. A lot more of our players rely on quick passing, but Farias could take someone off the dribble, basically one-on-one, and beat them. And he did a number of times last season.
It could be why they moved Gressel from right wing back up to the right center mid, because I think David Ruiz kind of does that too. Just, obviously not as good, but I think David Ruiz does provide that attacking mid mentality that Farias had. But I also the reason why last year we thought it was a more natural fit when he was a center mid was because, do you remember who wasn't playing when he was doing that? So when Messi wasn't playing, yeah, of course it was very good for him. But Messi's playing now. Hopefully that never has to occur. What we endured last year, and when we did that, we weren't necessarily winning games. But yeah, obviously Messi provides that spark, and Messi does whatever Facu was trying to do. Messi does it way better. But yeah, he was better, but it doesn't necessarily mean the team was better. I do think you put him at left wing, you put anyone on the outside, they're stuck in that area, of course. But right now, what are our options? I mean, I get it. You guys like Robert Taylor.
You're just trying to find a way to not have Robert Taylor on the
field. I'm trying to figure it out. You know what I mean? I'm trying to figure it out. You guys like him, fine. I don't like him, but I think that we have he sucks there. So I'm glad with what they're doing right now in the sense of I don't have to see Robert Taylor's face. So
Robert Taylor's done more on that wing than Facu ever did.
Well, he was there for a short time. We should give him another chance.
Well, he's not having that chance this year.
He can't do it.
So get over it. It's not happening.
Yeah, no choice. All of a sudden now we're trying to help replace Facu's injury, and we're gonna keep I don't know, we're gonna probably trot out McVeigh very soon. Like this Christoph guy's not doing it. Put McVeigh in. We got enough.
All right, so
oh boy,
looking ahead.
I'm the one who went on a rant, by the way. I'm the one who went.
Right. The Saudi matches are ahead of us now that we've finished these past two friendlies. So next up on the docket for Inter Miami is Al Hilal, followed by Al Nassr. And these are going to be, to me, huge tests for our team. The Saudi League has been in season. The players that we're going to be playing against will be in mid-season form. And this is when it's really going to get serious as far as the competition goes, in my opinion. Obviously, we'll be coming up against some very high-level players in some of these teams. Obviously, like the main course is Ronaldo if he ends up playing, because there's reports that he may miss the match against Inter Miami, which would be total fraud watch. But I think now, the question was asked in the chat, what changes do you want to see between now and then, and how do you like our odds as of now, presumably in those matches? So what do you guys want to see between now and then, and what do you think happens in those matches?
Sign a center back.
Hey, I like I like that comment. Just put Gregory as center back. See what happens. You know,
absolute waste of his talents.
I don't disagree at all.
Imagine Ronaldo going up against our center backs.
He's too old.
It's great to watch.
He's too old. Put that on the on the reel for them to put it in their locker rooms. Jose says that he's too old.
Yeah, it's gonna be a picture of Jose on Ronaldo's locker. I bet.
I believe it.
Ronaldo's gonna be throwing darts at Jose's face every night.
What I'm looking forward, I mean, again, it's just the development of the chemistry of this club. It's going to be much tougher. This is going to be the best competition they've faced by far, and this might be the best competition they've faced ever, including some of the groups that they've played in the MLS.
Depends who's playing. Depends who's playing, because we don't know if Ronaldo's not playing. I don't know.
I think these Saudi league teams are going to put their best foot forward, and they want to prove that they're better than the MLS. And what better opportunity than beating Messi in preseason form with your full roster that's in midseason form? This is it's unfair, and they're going to use this to kind of stick it to the league, because now there's all these rumors that the Saudi league players are trying to run away. So they're going to show the world that they're better than the MLS's so-called best team.
Jordan Henderson literally left. So it's definitely a thing. I agree though, David. I want to see them put their best forward. Did you see at the end of when Suarez today was kicked, was like, oh, you know, he was subbed off? Did you see his reaction to it? He was mad. He was angry. We're gonna love this guy.
Well, I bet he had that mentality. He's coming to the MLS. Like, I'm sure a lot of these players had that. They're going to come in here and it's going to be a cakewalk. And unfortunately, this is an actual league and players have pride. And even if it's a preseason game, they don't want to get their faces kicked in. So he is going to have to work for it. And to the point that some people were saying that he's limping all the time. Apparently, I was reading a reporter saying that he limped his way through Gremio's season last year and still kicked 26 goals. So it's something that we might have to just adjust to. But yeah, he has pride. That's what I want. I want a player who gets mad when they're not winning. So I'm okay with that.
No, you're saying he wants to be at a certain level, and he wants us to be at a certain level, and that's what I'm excited for. You know, guy's pissed off, and that's why. More, you know, I'm really hoping that two things are going to happen next week. Messi is going to be the godfather of Icon of the Seas. I enjoyed the ship this week. Very nice. It's an icon for an icon. That's what their slogan is. Messi jerseys all around. I'm going to tell you right now, he's going to go there. He's going to have a nice little pina colada. He's going to enjoy it, and then he's going to go and whoop some ass. That's what he's going to do. And I'm excited for it, and we're here for it. And then I can't wait for Luis Suarez to get his first shirt, his first hat trick, you know. And that's what we're gonna see.
What's the second thing?
That was it. He's gonna be the godfather. He's gonna go on a ship, and then after that, he's gonna kick some butt. That's it. Two things.
Godfather and butt kicking. Got it.
Book it.
Chris, did you have something to say? I think you were trying to get a point in there.
No, I was just gonna pretty much say what I've been saying all episode. We need to see more of this gelling continue. Huh? What'd you say?
Center back. We need a center back.
Besides that, we do need a center back. Please not a center back. But we just need to see the gelling. We just need to see the gelling. We've seen just 2 matches. We've seen it get better already. And like you guys said, this competition is the real deal coming up. There's some good players out there. And I think we're really going to need to see that the next step taken if they want to win these friendlies, you know. If they don't care about winning a friendly and they just want to see what they have on the team, then that's another thing. But if we really want to see this team compete, we're going to have to see that gelling take the next step, get to the next level. And we're going to have to hit these opportunities we're getting, because we're getting opportunities. The last 2 matches, we've had opportunities. They've been slightly off. They've been just a little bit off. So I think we're going to see that coming up. I think Messi is, if Ronaldo plays, I think Messi is really going to want to show out. Even though they say, no, it doesn't matter anymore, blah, blah, blah. No, I think these 2 players still have that spark against each other. And I think they want to show each other out. So let's hope he plays. I think it's going to be really fun. Stay tuned for our next episode, and it's going to be fun. It's going to be a good one. You're on mute again. You've been on mute like 3 times this episode.
I'm not gonna directly answer that comment. I'm not gonna directly answer that comment right there. But guess what? What's interesting is that Ronaldo seemed to have a lot to say this week about how very indirect shots, nothing direct, but a lot of indirect shots, and I thought that was very interesting. Because he was already starting to say that the Ballon d'Or award not very prestigious anymore. They're losing credibility. Then he started going on a rant about the best player ever award. Not that is losing credibility as well. Do me a favor, just suit up and be there, and that way you can prove it.
Prove it in a friendly.
I mean, there's no other way. He ran to the desert to play soccer in front of 30 fans. At least prove it to us. Let's go.
And to get $1 billion.
Put my face in your locker. Throw darts.
Right. Well, as we approach that match, we will be releasing a full preview for these Saudi matches. Obviously, those are huge matches on the preseason itinerary. It's part of this massive worldwide tour that Inter Miami is taking. A lot has been made about the travel that these teams are going to be, or that our team is going to be doing. I think it's something over like 24,000 miles that they're going to travel in the span of like a month. And it's kind of bananas, but at the same time, it's going to be a lot of fun. These next 2 matches, I think specifically, are going to be a lot of fun. But we'll dive into them a little bit more deeply over the coming days when we release our preview. And then, of course, the day of the matches, we'll be doing the same sort of style live post-game reaction, reacting to your guys' comments, reacting to what happens in the game. And as always, just updating on any Inter Miami news that does come out in between. So with that said, do you guys have any closing thoughts or statements here?
I just want to address one comment. Karen mentioned that we're kind of mocking the Saudi fans for their turnout, but the turnout for this last friendly seemed pretty sparse. I will say the weather was god awful today in Dallas, so it was cold and rainy, so that could be the major reason that there was nobody out there today.
Thanks, Dave. But it's true. The weather was pretty rough. It was cold and rainy.
So you're expecting more than 30 fans in Saudi Arabia?
Oh,
in Saudi, yes. I think that they're
packed.
Yeah, I think it's going to be pretty crazy.
That place is going to be packed. But anyways, we'll dive into that more deeply on our next episode. So please be sure to join us. Thank you to everyone who joined us for the live, everyone that's watching after the fact. We appreciate you guys as always. If you guys enjoyed, make sure you hit the like and subscribe buttons, hit the notification bell so you don't miss a live next time. And as always, thanks for catching the Heron Heads, your first stop for all things Inter Miami. We'll see you on the next one.